Fantastic.
Welcome, Aiden. How are you feeling now that you are in the final six? You beat 10 other people.
Uh, I'm glad I'm here. I'm honestly surprised that I made it this far. I mean, going into the swap, down 4-2, down tribal lines, I really thought that I was going to be gone in the next two votes. And then to have made enough moves to not only survive that, but to have made it to the final six, and I'm pretty confident that I can make it to the final four, is a really, really good feeling.
Well, it's exciting, and it's exciting for everyone who can make it here. Let's talk about first, not how the vote went yesterday for you and how you feel about somebody who keeps winning immunity idols and different questions in the challenge yesterday. Am I frozen?
What?
All
You
right.
froze for a second.
Okay, cool. I saw that you guys froze, so I figured I stopped talking. All right. My question really is, yeah, it just told me my internet's unstable. All good. My big question is, and you've played two of them, you have another one that you found. You have found three hidden immunity idols. What's nice about them is if you understand how they're set up, they're easier to find.
Yeah.
And I gave out clues and I gave out stuff. How do you feel about finding all of these idols?
I mean, I think it's great because, I'm the only one, I said this in my last chat, I'm the only one who's been able to connect the dots between all of your clues, clearly because I've had possession of all of the tribe idols. I still haven't figured out the merge one yet, but because I'm the only one who connected the dots for the tribal ones, I'm pretty confident that I can find the merge one before anybody else.
Not
Because
much time.
difficult, what?
Said there's not much time.
There's not much time, but if it was going to be found, I think it would have been found by me.
Yeah.
And so it's really, really nice to have an idol, especially right now. If I win immunity tonight, I'm guaranteed, or if I win immunity first, I'm guaranteed a spot in the final four, which is amazing.
Yeah.
What's your strategy going forward with an idol? Because I mean, you could pull a really big move with something potentially.
I could definitely pull a big move, but at this point, I think I've made enough big moves for my resume. I don't think that I need to do anything else, blindside anybody else to get to the finals, because I feel good about my spot with both Micah and Frankie. I don't know if they necessarily want to go with each other to the end, but I know that both of them would be willing to take me to the end.
Is that your ideal final three? Is you, Frankie, and Micah?
Ideally, it would be the three of us, yeah.
And you think that you would have a good shot against them?
Sorry, my brother just walked into my room.
You're okay.
Yes, I think that I would have a tougher time against Micah than against Frankie, but it would be difficult for both of them. Against Micah would be tough because, he's won a lot of immunities, which is big resume building, but also because he has not really annoyed anybody. I, flat out lied to AB and Scott and Hunter that I was with them. So I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't want to give me their votes, things like that. And then in terms of Frankie, in the same way, he's still on good terms with AB, Scott, and Hunter. So it could be scary that they would want to vote for him in the finals. But at the same time, I've pulled off huge moves, bigger than both of them. I found three idols. I've played one of them correctly. I've voted on the right side of every single vote. I've had several blind sides,
Yeah. Do you feel like last night's idol play was stupid, or are you happy you had safety in case Wyatt wasn't the one going home and you were being played?
I knew that Wyatt was planning on voting me, so I knew it at the very least I was getting one vote coming my way. What I wasn't sure about was whether or not Wyatt actually had the numbers to vote me, and that's why I decided to play it, because I know Wyatt was telling Xander, Macy, and Micah to vote me, and Xander, sorry, not Xander, Macy and Micah both told me, and I knew Micah wasn't going to vote me, but I wasn't sure about Xander and Macy, and so I just wanted to be safe, and played it just in case. In hindsight, I wish I hadn't, because of course, if I hadn't, then I would be able to play the next two, and then I would be able to play the next two and be able to guarantee my spot in the Final Four. Can you give me 1 second?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry about that.
Oh, you're okay. I really don't have. I have like one or two more questions for you.
Yeah.
Just considering a challenge is starting in 4 minutes. And I'm happy that you're able to make it, and then it all worked out. And we can even do one of these. No, I'm intrigued because you have another idol, which means if you had both, you would just you'd be in the Final Four, but you don't, and so it does make interesting gameplay. If
Yeah.
you don't win the next immunity, how do you just play your idol and then wish cast a prayer out in the final five and hope you make four, or do you try to save that idol so you're guaranteed four at five?
I think I would prefer to save the idol tonight, mostly because I'm almost 100% confident on where the vote is going tonight. Jenna's basically been asking us to vote her out for the past few votes. Right before the Scott vote, she literally texted both me and Wyatt and was like, listen, please vote me out. And we didn't want to because we had other plans, obviously. And so I think it's time for her to go. She doesn't want to be here anymore. And I almost feel like it would be disrespectful to take her to the final three, because I feel like at this point she'd be such an easy win that it wouldn't really mean anything to me to beat her. But beating somebody like Micah or Frankie, who would be like, big challenges to me, would mean a lot.
All right. And so that's where you're hoping the vote goes. There's no way to know until the vote is read, and that'll happen after we figure out who wins this next challenge in about 3 minutes. Obviously, we'll start a few minutes late to sort through things because, we did a few things. But I appreciate you wanting to talk. I'm sorry it was so short.
All good. No worries.
Yeah. If there's anything else you'd like to say, we can make some time. But if you're good, we can move on to the next Survivor thing.
Perfect. See you then.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate
Bye.
it. I'm going to start recording. Welcome. I definitely would love to discuss how you're doing now that you're in the final six of the game. 10 people are eliminated, and you're not one of them. What's just initial base thoughts?
Well, that's actually because after yesterday, I really thought I was going home because they were coming for my side, my alliance. And all of a sudden, I just got a message from Micah, and Micah's like, we have a plan to take out Wyatt. And that was just so relieving, because now I know that I might actually still be here and I can actually win now. After yesterday, before, when we were doing the challenge, I thought I had no chance of winning after, but then Micah texted me, I'm like, okay, maybe now I actually do have a chance to win. So I'm actually really happy.
You think that their move was let's shake the game up, or let's just get Wyatt out? Do you think you have a chance now, or are they going back to this pecking order that they were doing from your perspective?
I feel like they're going to go back to the pecking order because the rest of them that are there, like Xander, Macy, Aiden, and Micah, I don't know about Jenna, but they're I feel like they're just going to work together, because I know there's definitely a group chat that I'm not in, because they were talking about oh wait, I have to see what the other people are saying in this group chat. And I'm like, okay. That's what Aiden said to me, because Aiden told me about the plan to vote out Wyatt too. So I just feel like they're just going to go back to the pecking order because they don't want to vote each other out, because then in the end they might not get each other's votes or whatever.
Do you think that they're worried that you have strong connections with AB, Scott, and Hunter, considering you were on their side of the votes?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fair assumption, considering jury management is so essential in this game to win, and just by unfortunate luck, you're in good standing if you were in the final three right now, because you have people in the jury who like you. But you got to get there first. I mean, half of the people who are in the game have to be out. How do you get there? What's the move tonight? Let's say you don't win immunity. Is there conversations that you have planned in the works to try to get yourself situated better?
Yeah, I started talking to Macy a little bit, and Macy kind of wants to take out Micah, though. That's what she told me, but I don't know if she's like just telling me that or not. But definitely, I definitely want to talk to her and see if like it's still gonna go on because I'll definitely vote him. Because if I do go to the final with him, I know there's no chance that I'm gonna win against him.
What happens if he wins his like fourth challenge? You can't count it out considering he's won like all of them minus the
Yeah.
double with Aiden. You have to keep that in mind. Would you keep talking to Macy about a different plan, or would you try to work something else?
I would I would probably because I have no idea because like I have nothing to lose, so I would probably just talk to Micah maybe about something and vote out whoever he like is willing to vote out because he told me that he really wanted to work with me after after Scott was eliminated. He told me he wanted to work with me, but I don't know if he was true about it or not. But he actually did have my back yesterday with the vote that happened, so I kind of do trust him a little bit than I did before.
Who do you think is the biggest opposition standing in your way at this point from you getting to that final five, final four?
Um, Definitely Aiden or Micah because they're both like really good at the challenges and they have like a good story at the end, like in the final. Like I'm not saying I don't have a good one. Like my story, I would probably tell them, even though I didn't win challenges, like I made like moves to take out other people. Like I was in the plan to take out Wyatt. I was in the plan to take out Cameron, and those are like big players in the game.
Yeah.
So it's definitely Aiden and Micah though.
Okay. There's a lot that has to happen. This game is fast paced. I mean, a few days ago, like 2 days ago, we merged, and tonight
Yeah.
we're gonna have Final Four. What do you think? Where you're at, how comfortable you are? What would be your guess on how likely Final Four is to you by the end of today?
Well, I feel like I can make it through the first tribal, but then I'm gonna really have to push myself through the second one if I want to make it to Final Four.
Okay. Do you think anybody is going to budge on anybody else? Can you paint a picture about anybody being a better vote out than you, or do you think that you have to hope someone slips up?
I really just want to hope that Aiden or Michael does not win the immunity, like in either of the challenges today. Because definitely if Micah doesn't win, I can probably get him voted out because Macy sees him as a threat. Xander does too. And I guess I can get Jenna to vote with me maybe, but I don't know.
So right now, this game, when you start the merge, you kind of have in mind, here's who I want to work with. Here's who I want to sit in the final three with, because that's just how it looks when you start merge. And kind of before merge, we're in the final six now. It's kind of like you're trying to crawl out of this battle with wounds. Most
Yeah.
people have been damaged. You have had most of your alliance stripped away from you so early on. I mean, bam, bam, bam. All three were
Yeah.
gone right away. You're still here. I don't know if it can necessarily happen for everybody, but if you could pick, who are the two people you want to sit next to where you think that you can win this game?
Definitely. Either Jenna and Xander or Macy and Xander.
Okay. It's not an easy path to get to.
Mm-hmm.
Is there? I mean, I can throw another question or two at you. Just we have limited time, but is there anything you want to talk about before Bethany or I throw out some final questions? Because this is a moment to just kind of like let out strategy, let out how you're feeling about the game. I know there was definitely defeat. We haven't talked since. I mean, last time we talked, Scott, AB, and Hunter were all in, and so I don't know what were your feelings. I know you said in confessionals, but after that,
Like, I just felt like I had nobody to talk to or anything because they were the only people that I really did talk to in the game, and they were the only people that I took strategy to. So like now, when I talk strategy to other people, it just feels weird because like I don't feel like they're 100% with me when they're talking to me and stuff. So I don't know. So
well, do you have anything left to say before I ask my final question?
no, it's okay.
All right. I mean, there doesn't need to be, people who make the final four. I might just keep offering this until the end of the game because, I have time now. I know today was a little bit rough here and there, but we got it. We got a good, 10 minutes to work out talking, 8-10 minutes.
Yeah.
I guess my final question. These aren't going to be consistent. one thing I want to throw at you is you wouldn't be here if Aiden wouldn't have played as idol. Now, whether or not he was trying to save you or make himself look good is not necessarily what you know or what you could guess, but do you think that that is a relationship that could be salvaged in any way, or was that a play for Aiden and that's done now?
I just feel like that was kind of like a play for Aiden, because he told me when we were in our tribes that he wanted to go back and work with me, Aiden, and Hunter. I mean, me, Hunter, and Scott. And then as soon as we went back, Wyatt made a group chat with everybody except for AB, Hunter, and Scott. And, like, it was just so confusing because Aiden was saying, oh, my God, I really want to work with you guys still. And then he voted them off. So, like, I really can't trust him as much as I did before, even though he did use an idol on me and kept me here.
Well, I'm happy we got to talk. I'm sorry it was short.
That's okay.
I'm happy that you're in the final 6. I'm excited to see what these 6 people can do. We have a challenge in half an hour. Depending on when these end, it might be 5 minutes late when we start. But you guys are all very flexible, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Frankie.
Thank you.
We'll see how it all goes out the rest of the day.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
All right, I'm going to end and convert this right away.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Welcome to one-on-one confessional time. Congrats on final 6. That's exciting for everybody who's there. I personally am very happy with how the season's been going. For a first time hosting it, I couldn't have asked for a better turnout with the way people have been playing this game. We're here now. Stuff just happened, last night with 2 different votes. 2 votes are going to happen today. We have a challenge in about 23 minutes. What's going through your mind, Micah?
I think the biggest thing on my mind right now is winning this next challenge, because at this point, I feel like the second I lose a challenge, everybody's going to come after me because I've won 3 in a row.
So what happens if you don't win the challenge? Do you have any socialization set up in place to keep you here, or are you going to do your best to fly under the radar? What's the strategy moving forward if you don't win, your 4th or 5th challenge in a row?
If I don't win, I'm still pretty confident that I have the numbers and that people trust me, but all it takes is one guy throwing the idea out there, hey, let's take him out while we can.
Is there anyone you're worried about that could have that idea, or is it just potentially anybody because we're in the end game of Survivor, Virtual Survivor?
I think it could potentially be pretty much anybody. I mean, I trust the people in my alliance, but at the same time, you've seen it many times. People realize that, hey, this guy's a threat. Let me take him out so that my game can be easier.
Is being a challenge threat the same, more of a threat, or less of a threat because it's all virtual?
I would say it's probably about the same, just because, you don't want to go against somebody who won the most challenges. I mean, that's alone is a great argument because there aren't as many layers in this Survivor, but there are a lot of layers still. But a challenge beast is definitely one of the bigger ones, in my opinion.
I mean, it makes you immune every night, and it's like finding a hidden immunity idol. It's powerful. There's at least 3 things I kind of want to touch on with you because there's different facets of the game that have been going on for you. I'm going to throw the first at voting out Wyatt. Whose idea was this? How comfortable were you with doing it? How do you feel like it affects your game? However you want to kind of answer this vote out with Wyatt, because last time we talked, he was your number 1 ally.
Yeah, so it was my idea, but I learned that pretty much everybody that I talked to was okay with it, and they were all ready to make the same move as well, just because he was getting a little unpredictable and getting a little chaotic in things that he wanted to do. For instance, right after we voted off AB and Scott, we all agreed that Hunter was the next to go. Out of nowhere, Wyatt's like, we got to keep Hunter. And we all started to realize that he had been building this relationship with Hunter, and we wanted to, we all decided, let's take Hunter out because Wyatt wants to work with him. So we took Hunter out. But then then Wyatt comes to me later that night, and he's like, yo, we got to take out Macy and Xander. And I'm sitting there like, you want to take out the 2 nicest people in our alliance who really haven't, done anything to make you mad or done anything to scare you, and you want to take these people out? Like, what's your end game here? And I was like, this is when I'm going to have to take him out because I can't trust that he's going to be with me every vote or that he's not going to come after me next.
Do you think that that was a good decision? Are you comfortable starting today? We're going to start with 6 and end with 4. Are you comfortable that getting Wyatt out was the right thing for you?
Yeah, I think so. It was really a toss-up between getting rid of Aiden and Wyatt. I'm still uneasy about Aiden just because of what happened. That's always going to be in the back of my mind with his idle play that got Cameron out early in the season. I know he's been in second almost every challenge, so he's definitely number one guy in my mind right now. But I think Wyatt was more unpredictable in the sense that he would just come to me with a different idea about every 20 minutes when I had to be like, Wyatt, this is what we're doing. You need to stick with it. Eventually he'd be okay, but his mind just worked way more.
So that was a move that happened yesterday. We have a few things. Another thing that happened yesterday that I kind of want to touch on. The challenge. It's a touchy challenge. It has to be. That's kind of why it's here. It's fun for everybody. Unfortunately, sometimes, depending on how good or bad you are caught in the line of fire. Wyatt was caught in the line of just getting ripped apart in a negative way, but that's a game he chose to play. You got ripped apart in a good way because you kept getting targeted. I think the biggest reaction you had when I go back and watch the footage was when you were the majority choice for who would I vote for at the end to win this game. You made a pretty big reaction. How does that feel, that specific comment in that game?
Well, obviously it feels good because you're like, well, all these people want to vote for me in the end. But at the same time, there's also people that are going to notice that. They're going to pick up on that. And they're going to say, well, hey, this is half the jury right here. Eventually, they're all going to vote for Micah. Why am I going to sit with him at the end if everybody's kind of already decided to vote for him?
Yeah. And that was kind of, obviously it's not the best thing you want to hear as far as gameplay goes. I saw your reaction. It's part of the challenge. You had some other things like nicest person and stuff like that. Who's the most trustworthy and other questions that kind of highlighted you as a potential hero figure of the game. We've only had one season and we're in it. And so as far as how people play virtual Survivor hasn't been really defined yet. You might be trend setting the way that good guys play the game. Who knows? Now we don't have a horrible amount of time. I think there's probably like 2 other major things I have to say. Or ask. Before I ask those, is there anything you want to talk about? And I'll make time for it. For now that you're in the final 6, is there anything you want to say?
No, I think you've nailed most everything. I mean, I'm interested to hear what you have to ask next.
One of them is more generalized, just how to move forward. But the first thing to touch on is you've won so many challenges. Something comes with that, and those are clues to the merge hidden immunity idol. You and I know that you have not found that yet. Who knows if you will? After this vote right now, it's the last time it can be played. You have, 4 clues or 3 clues?
So yeah, 3 clues.
How do you feel? Have you tried a lot? Are you confused by the clues? I mean, obviously they're meant to be hard, but Aiden has found, so far he's played 2 idols. He's found 2 idols with these type of clues. There's just a new idol hidden with these clues that I've given you since you've won challenges. How do you feel?
It's definitely frustrating to have 3 clues. I think I'm getting close. You said this next vote or the vote after it's the last time you can play an idol?
Last time you can play it is final 5 because you can't play an idol when you're in the final 4 to get into the final tribal.
Okay. So yeah, I'm definitely, today I want to make it a goal to find it, but if I don't find it, I'm not too worried about it. It would be nice to have on the resume. I've done a little bit of digging, but I can't say that I've gone all full Tony, but I'm really, I don't know. I've translated the words and I feel like I'm getting close, but at the end of the day, if I don't find it, I won't lose too much sleep.
And you don't have to worry about other people having those clues. The last thing, because we're right on when I'm gonna start the next one. This is a short video, so it won't take long to convert. It's easy. Tonight we're gonna go from 6 to 5 and then 5 to 4. Other than winning immunity, what do you hope is the path of least resistance for you to get past today?
Well, obviously, if I don't win immunity, I want the votes to go the way I want them to go. I've been in control of most votes, whether people realize it or not. I've kind of played, I've kind of said, hey, y'all make this decision. But in reality, the people that I wanted to go home have gone home. And I hope things to remain that way. And I'm still a little indecisive about, what I want to do with Aiden. I can't tell if he's someone I want to take to the end because of how much he's screwed over people and how I've beaten him head to head almost every challenge, or is it possible that he beats me in the end because he has the second best resume?
Interesting. Well, I'm happy for you, and I'm happy for the other 5 people. I'm excited to see how today goes. It's quick paced. We're almost to the finals here. Tuesday is final. Tribal, you will be there, whether you're sitting there trying to win or on the jury. Everyone I'm interviewing will be there. And so I'm excited to see how this all goes. Thank you so much, Micah.
You're welcome. See you later.
Awesome. See you later.